Hello, I'm Mrs. Asker and I'm the teacher for RW, and I'm going to be going through a presentation with you which will help you support your child with writing. So I'm going to go through the early learning goal with you. At the end of the year, the children are expected to use their phonic knowledge to write words in which way matches their spoken sounds. They should also be able to write some common irregular words. At school, we call these tricky words, words such as he, she, the, to, go. These are words that the children cannot use their sounds for, and they have to know them just like that. Also, by the end of the year, the children should be able to write simple sentences which can be read by themselves and by others. They should also be able to write some words which are phonetically spelled correctly. For example, if there is a word like orange, which they wouldn't know how to write, they should be able to write that using their phonetic knowledge. So I'm just going to go through some of the stages of writing in reception. So at the start of the year, we might find some children doing lots of mark making, which is brilliant. They might assign some meaning to their marks. For example, they could be drawing circles, they could be saying this is a ball, they could be developing that, maybe if they're drawing figures or people. So that's a brilliant way for them to start getting used to the idea of writing. When children start learning their phonics, they should be able to start picking up some initial sounds. So that's the sound that starts at the beginning of the word. So for example, if there's a picture of the cat, they should or they could probably hear the first sound, which is a k. Now, not all children hear the first sound first. They could hear the last sound of the word, but we in school, we ask them to have a go at hearing some of the sounds, any of the sounds that they can, and we encourage them to write it down. So, for example, if the word was sun, we would try and sound it out very slowly for them so they can pick up the sounds that they can. Some children might be hearing the last sound too. So you can see slowly they're starting to understand exactly what the sounds are and what the words are made up of. Here is an example of a child last year who had to go at writing a sentence, and you can see that they are able to pick up the initial sound and the end sound. So their target was to have a go at try picking up the middle sounds, which some children might find difficult. So that's why we encourage children at school to say the word slowly. So for example, if the word was mix, we would say ix, mix. So they can see exactly how the word is being said, and we would use a sound map for them to have a go at picking up the sounds that they don't know. By the end of reception, they should be able to write phonetically plausible sentences. So on the screen here, there is a sentence which I will read for you. It says, "The witch with his wand and the car goes zoom." So here you can see that the child has had a go at writing a full sentence. They've got some words which are phonetically spelt correctly, like the word goes, and they've got tricky words which have been spelt correctly, like the word the. So this is what we're aiming at. The child has also had to go at writing the word went. Now that's quite a tricky word because there's 4 sounds, but they were able to hear all the 4 sounds and write it down. So in the beginning of reception, we asked the children to have a go at writing Cvc words, which are words which have 3 sounds. So this is something that you can do at home with your children, sounds which have 3 sounds and are familiar to them. So for example, cat, sun, bin. You can also use these sounds in blending games that you can play with them at home. So for example, if you have something and you want the child to put it in the bin, you could sound it out for them to see whether they can put the sounds together to actually hear the word. So you could say, "Could you please put this in the b-i-n?" And hopefully they should be able to hear bin. So that will also help them to start blending. So in terms of writing, there are many skills that a child needs to know before they even begin to start writing. And we as adults, we will take that for granted, but for a child, it can be very, very tricky. The main thing that they need to be able to do is to be able to retain the sentence in their head. So they should be able to know what they are writing. So the main thing with that is that they should be able to say it. So for example, they know their sentence, they should be able to count how many words there is, and they should be able to retain that sentence in their head. Also, it's quite important for them to know where they should start writing. We often say you should be starting writing from the top, from the left-hand side, and they need to know that when they're writing, after each word, they need to use a finger space to show that that's a new word. Now, some children will not be at the writing stage, and so for them, the best way that you can support them is by showing them writing and by modeling them sentences. So, for example, you could ask them, or you could tell them a sentence and they would repeat it back to you. Then you could show them how it's written. What you could also do is you could write the same sentence, you could then cut it up, and the child has to have a go at matching their sentence with yours and making sure the words are in the correct order. So writing reception is obviously extremely important, and we try and include writing in every area of our learning. So children are encouraged to write as part of their purposeful play. They will write in a variety of role play situations. We support children with many genres of writing, like writing labels, captions, lists, letters and instructions, and we give them a lot of praise because it's a very tough concept. Usually children are encouraged to hear the sound at the beginning of the word in their writing, and as they progress, they start hearing other sounds in the words. As I said earlier, it's absolutely fine if children are hearing the end sounds, so we will just work with that. And also they're encouraged to write in sentences, sometimes using punctuation, and the punctuation that we focus on in reception is full stops. So they start with a capital letter and they end with a full stop. So how can you help at home? If your child is struggling still to write their name, you can try and make it fun for them. You can include sand, salt, Play-Doh into the play. If you're finding that your child is finding it difficult to hold a pencil, that just means that their finger muscles are yet to be developed or are developing. So Play-Doh is an excellent tool for that. It just gives their muscles, makes them stronger and helps them hold the pencil, provides them with a strong pencil grip. It's very important that you support them with the sounds and you use the sound mat that we've provided to help them write it down. We're also finding that quite a few children are writing in capital letters, so just please make sure that they are writing in lowercase, and they know that the only letter that they use for capital is if it's a name or if it starts at the beginning of the sentence. And also when you're out shopping or when you're out for a walk, see if you can spot any sounds or any letters, and that should hopefully encourage your child too. It's very, very important to read with your child, so they can be aware of and can obviously enhance their imagination, which obviously will help with them when it comes to writing. It's also very important for you to help your child to learn the key words that we have been sending, because these words and these lists are they use it and they see it in their books at school. The tricky words lists are very important too, because they need to understand that those words are words which they cannot sound out phonetically. They have to know them just like that. So for you to help at home on the weekend or in the holidays, you can ask your child to have a go at writing lists if you're going shopping, letters, they can have a go at writing birthday cards. If they've drawn a picture, you can see if you can get them to label the picture. Just really important, if we do set any work, please do not write the work for them. Even if your child is writing just first initial sounds, that's brilliant. And you can just ask them what they've written and you can write it underneath, because writing it for them is not going to help them at all. Mr. Trumper is going to put up a writing workshop part 2 and part 3, which is going to show you how you can support your child in the practical way. So please make sure you tune in for that. Thank you very much.